You're watching Vancouver TV, where we show you what's happening in your city. We've got the latest movie reviews and access to your favorite celebs. From fashion to red carpets, live shows, and more, we cover it all, keeping you informed about your city and in the know about upcoming events.
Get down! Go, go, go! Oh man, we're gonna die!
What the hell?
Whatever's in there has been safely hidden for 2,000 years. This isn't a tomb. It's a prison. Nick! The hieroglyph said she was named Amenet, chosen to be Egypt's next queen. But her thirst for power led her down a darker path, one that had to be stopped.
Because of your actions, this ancient power has returned. You are alive because you were chosen.
Chosen? By what?
Evil. The ultimate evil.
Legend has it she's a being of unimaginable powers. Now she's using you to regain them.
Oh my god.
She will not stop until she has remade our world into her own.
Just stay with me.
I'm scared.
I'm gonna figure this out.
Don't leave me.
You can't run. You can't escape. She's got plans for you.
To win tickets to see this movie and other fun movie prize packs, visit www.vancouvertelevision.ca.
What's going on, guys? I'm Kristine Wilson for Vancouver Television, and tonight we are down here at the Lululemon Lab for 2 Cream, 2 Sugar. It's an art show that's celebrating 5 different local artists from here in Vancouver, so let's go on in and check it out. Joined here now by Jonathan. You are kind of the mastermind with bringing this whole thing together. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what is going on here tonight?
So 2 Cream, 2 Sugar was started when me and my colleague, also Jonathan, I came back from New York and kind of saw like that the scene was very vibrant, and they kind of had this like do a show anywhere, like do it in an apartment, do it in a cafe, doesn't matter. And like coming from Vancouver, I hadn't really seen that. So after going there for like 3 months, I came back and was like, we need more of that. So we just kind of started like approaching different like apparel venues or like cafes and doing these art shows, and the rest is like history, I guess.
And so how do you feel about doing it here at Lululemon? Because I feel like Lululemon is a huge kind of aspect of Vancouver culture.
Yeah, for sure. And like it took us a while to get here. Like we were at first doing things in very small venues, and then I think Lululemon kind of saw us through, I guess, social media, and we were like so happy to have them because yeah, they've been super supportive, giving us space, but also giving us like helping us direct like how we should display things and like helping us kind of communicate with artists, and I'm happy to be part of the Lululemon team, I guess. And
I mean, you guys have had such a crazy turnout just from tonight. Why don't you tell me about kind of events that you guys have had in the past to get to where you are now?
Yeah, so I mean, like when we started, we were in like a weird basement in like downtown Vancouver, which was like a shared artist space, but also like a Bitcoin hive. And so we were like just doing whatever we could, seeing who could like provide us space. And then, yeah, just kind of grew by people seeing us, coming to our shows, getting really excited about it. And then, yeah, we have people approach us as well as if we see a cool store, we're like, we really like your vibe, we really like your clothing, we'll just like approach them. And it's pretty crazy how like if you ask someone something, you can get a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And you guys have some phenomenal artists here tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about kind of the people that are being on display?
Yeah, so I mean, part of the thing that we like to do is there seems like there's a lot of barriers in Vancouver into getting like your stuff into a gallery. So one of the things we do is we look for like new and upcoming artists who like haven't been in a gallery before or are just starting. We have a partnership with Opus, so like we try to give them supplies if we can and like kind of help them get on their feet. So like, yeah, we have like photographers like Muscondi in the front, who I don't think has been in a gallery before, as well as Max, who has like these huge crazy industrial pieces. And yeah, it's just great to see like young artists who like are trying to get their like foot in the door and like give them a venue to like show some of their stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And this is such a creative city. Vancouver is so cool when it comes to art. So if there are artists out there that, you know, are looking to get involved in something like this, how can they find you guys or reach out?
Hit us up on Instagram. We like have recruited people like that before. Facebook, anywhere really. Like I think we're on Twitter as well. Yeah, just like contact us. We'll be looking for you, but we love when people contact us, and we'll like try to get you in a show as soon as we can.
So Vancouver has such a cool and, you know, huge art culture. If people are interested in getting involved with your event, how can they find you or how can they get involved?
Yeah, find us online, find us on Instagram, find us on Facebook. We're looking for you too, but like we're very open to people contacting us. We love to hear from young artists. We will try to get you in a show as soon as possible.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, and we're so excited to experience the event.
Thank you.
What I absolutely love about Vancouver is it's got such a cool, avid art culture. People are so creative, and we are down here at the Lululemon Lab, which is kind of a really monumental piece of Vancouver. It was started right here in Vancouver, so it's cool to see so many creatives kind of coming together and expressing themselves in a place like Lululemon, because it really is community driven and all about such a cool local creative city. Okay, so this is Max. Max, you are one of the artists that's on display here tonight. Why don't you talk to me about how important it is to have, you know, cool events like this where you get to show off what you do?
But it's really cool to have to just, you know, be working in your studio. And this is my first art show ever. I've never shown my stuff to anybody. It's super cool to just see other people's opinions and reactions. And
I feel like having, you know, art is a really vulnerable thing. Or like to produce something and be like, hey world, this is what I've done. What do you think of it? That's like a really brave thing to do. Yeah. Do you feel like that's kind of where you're at right now, or are you feeling really kind of confident about it?
I feel really good about it, to be honest. I'm just on this new light in life where it's just living a healthy, happy lifestyle and just really going for it and giving it your 110%. And it's really working out for me, and I highly suggest everyone else does that, because I just quit my job the other day and more opportunities have come up than ever before, and it's fantastic, and I have a lot of time on my hands to kind of create and do these things that I really love and I'm passionate about, and I have just like a fire, burning desire to kind of get out of me, and it just really feels good to have people admire and look at it and talk about it and feel it. And
that is really what it's all about, right? It's just like letting people feel the art.
Like for me, it's not about what I think. It's about how you feel when you look at my paintings. These mean more to me than you've had hot dinners. I could go on for hours and hours and hours, but mainly it's just what it happens to you, how it affects you, and how it makes you feel, and what kind of thought gets brought into your mind. So I don't know, it's really cool.
So how did you end up getting involved? If you've never been kind of in a gallery or a show before, how did you end up getting involved in an event like this?
Honestly, I was working at the coffee shop just down the street, and John.
Milano?
Yeah.
My favorite.
Nice. And then Jonathan just kept on coming in, and we became really, really, really good homies. And the big black Jonathan, not the smaller one. There's two Jonathans. And we just got to talking, and it just kind of popped off. And he didn't even look at my art for a long time. He just kind of trusted me, which I thought was really cool. And it was humbling. It was like he had a certain confidence to it. And it was just made me feel like, yeah, let's do this. I'm not like, like, I don't know.
But I feel like that's what art's like. Like, it's like, here it is, and you guys interpret it the way that you want to interpret it. It's not really for anyone else to tell you kind of what's up. So in terms of kind of your art and the progress or the process in which you kind of go about it, like, what does it all mean to you? How did you even get into it?
Been writing, basically started like art. Started painting graffiti when I was really, really young. And then it just kind of evolved from there. And like just inspiration through life. One of my best friends passed away in September, and thank you. And that kind of really drove me to like say and just really go for it and just like have nothing tying me down. And there's nothing that makes me happier than being in a room with like my paint and just all my paint everywhere else, and just being able to create whatever I want. Literally whatever I want to do, I can just put it on here, and if I don't like it, paint over it and start again. And it's just that process, and having that time to myself is really important. And I feel like a lot of people should try and figure out something that makes them feel that way, because it makes me happy as every day of my life.
Oh, that's so awesome. It warms my heart. Well, I am obsessed with it. I love it. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm excited to see all the stuff that you've been working on. So thanks so much for chatting with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The other Jonathan, you are the other man behind the evening. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how this whole thing came to be?
Two Cream really just started when me and my friend, the other Jonathan, we love art, and we kind of just started working with different artists and working with just different people in Vancouver, because we saw Vancouver as a place that just had a lot of art to give, and there's not a place to give it properly. So we were tired of the whole underground scene and wanted to bring the underground scene above ground.
I totally agree with you. I came from Toronto and I moved here, and I noticed that Vancouver is jam-packed full of creative people and people that kind of just want to express themselves. So how did you notice that kind of market? Like, were you in another country and kind of noticed it like Jonathan was in New York, or was it something that you just kind of realized was happening?
I went to UVic, and in Victoria I just met a crazy number of artists, and I just realized like they were making art but not like doing anything with it. So like, as the idea formed, I thought like, why not we have a place where like young artists and artists who've never shown before and artists who want to show, and old, young, doesn't really matter, just have a place to do it. And we don't really have like a curated demographic who shows up here. It's literally moms, uncles, grandmas, cousins, brothers, sisters, just come out and appreciate.
So awesome. And speaking of curation, is that kind of what you guys consider yourselves, like art curators of the city kind of thing?
Yeah, we're like, I would consider ourselves both directors and we're both curators. So we curate the art more by the people we meet, by the interactions we make, It's like we curate the art, but more the artist.
Do you have kind of a hope for where you want the event to end up, or do you guys have, a trajectory that you hope it takes, or what are you hoping for it?
I mean, like, every time we have a show, our goals change, but our end goal is to, I always say at least, is to tattoo the planet with every artist I've worked with name instead of my own. So, like, I just try to have, like, a great time with it, but our end goal totally would be to have our own space in Vancouver, to have our own space and start doing shows like in LA and New York, but like we really want to put Vancouver on the map first.
Absolutely, and it's such a city to put on the map art-wise. Such a cool thing that you guys are doing. The turnout is unbelievable. You guys are going to see it in a second, so thanks so much for chatting with us.
That's awesome, guys. Thank you.
With us here now, and you're one of the other artists that has their art on display here. Yours is quite different from a lot of the artists that are here tonight. Why don't you talk a little bit about it?
So I work primarily with collage, which is probably why you think it's different. A lot of the other artists are photographers or painters. I use found photography, and I restructure it and create a whole new narrative by juxtaposing images that were never meant to really be together. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of why it's different. It's representational, but at the same time I have a lot more control over it because I get to make my story up.
So when you say representational, does that mean that you kind of find images that might juxtapose each other that kind of bring new relevance to the meaning of what they might have been before, or how does it all come together as one structured piece?
Yeah, totally. So I'm creating a whole new narrative out of two images that had no relationship to one another prior, to me finding them. And I find them through different books and through different places. And some of them are really old, and then some of them come from really new commercial publications. So yeah, in that way, they're kind of telling a new story altogether.
How do you feel that these kinds of events are really beneficial for artists like you? Because I feel like, it brings such a young, fresh millennial crowd to kind of the beautiful art culture of Vancouver.
Yeah, no, I think this is really great. The fact that you have somebody like Lululemon, who is a Vancouver-based company, right? They're really engaging with their community, with young people. A lot of us here, we're friends with the people that work in this store, right? So it's all about the relationships within the artist community, within the fashion community too, here a little bit in Vancouver. I think the Lululemon Lab is especially much more fashion forward and creative, right, than maybe how we generally think of Lululemon. So in that way, I think this is so cool of them to bring us in and to let us kind of take over their space.
Absolutely, and it is kind of totally an art takeover in here. It's so cool and kind of more edgy than what we interpret Lululemon to be. How did you find out about Two Cream, or how did you end up getting involved with them?
So friends of friends. I have a pal who's collaborating with Lululemon. He's from New York, and he came into town, and he introduced me to everybody that works at this location at the lab, and we just really hit it off. We had some beers, we had some cocktails next door, and a week later I get a message from Jonathan, who basically curated the show, saying, hey, come on in, let's make a show together.
Well, I gotta ask, because, okay, there's one thing, I know a little bit how it feels to have your work sort of being looked at and judged sort of on more of a, of course, TV standpoint, but how does it feel to have the stuff that you have created, that you're kind of your heart and soul on display for everybody to kind of have an opinion on? Like, isn't that kind of so vulnerable?
Yeah, but at the same time,
it is what it is, I guess.
It is what it is, and if I were the only one looking at it all the time, it would get pretty exhausting. I think, I make it for it to be out here, for people to look at it, hate it or love it, either way, but I'm just glad it's here. I'm glad you got to see it.
No, I love it. Are you getting a great response from it? I can only imagine that you are.
Yeah, I've gotten some great feedback tonight, for sure.
That's so good. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us, and the event has been such a success.
Thank you so much.
Connor, and you're another artist whose work is being shown here tonight, which, to be honest, I have fallen absolutely in love with, which it looks like a lot of other people have as well. What does it feel like to have all these people kind of looking at your work?
It's pretty crazy. Like, I didn't expect there to be this much of a crowd around my stuff right now, but it's a pretty crazy feeling, to be honest.
Have you had people view your work before? Have you been in galleries or art shows or anything like that?
Never my photography, so this is my first time. This is pretty new to me, so to get this reaction right now it's pretty cool.
What does that vulnerability feel like, where you're like, hey, I took this photo and I'm just kind of letting everybody view it and see what they think of it?
I think it's dope because I do it to kind of express myself, so if I can get people to connect to it as well, that's kind of the whole purpose, is to allow people to escape in art. And yeah, so if people mess with it, that's dope.
Oh, absolutely. And I find that, I don't come from that kind of background, but I feel like there's such a cool creative culture that exists in Vancouver, whether it be, painting or photography or all that kind of stuff. What have you found about the arts culture in Vancouver?
I think it's growing. It's kind of small right now, but the people who are really in the center of it are very, very dope people, and they just need to be highlighted at events like this, because before stuff like this is thrown, social media is really the only way to see it. So this is very important for the art culture in Vancouver.
Yeah, and speaking about, events like this, how did you end up finding out about these guys, or how did you get involved?
I'm actually one of the people who runs Two Cream, Two Sugar. Yeah, so I've been doing this lately, and they're like, yo, just put your stuff in it, see how it goes.
Well, tell me about it. How did you guys, I talked to the Jonathans a little bit about kind of putting it all together, but what was kind of the, thought process or the lineage behind, making this whole thing come together?
Well, pretty much we always did the art stuff, but we felt it wasn't really viewed in Vancouver, especially with the youth. So we just wanted to try to put on events just literally to show people that there are dope artists in this city and to pay attention. And it's kind of grown into this bigger thing now, which is,
I mean, it's crazy. There's a lot of people here right now.
yeah, I mean, when we first started, I could have never pictured this amount of people. It's crazy.
Well, good for you. Congratulations. This event is unreal. I'm having such a good time. And this is obviously so successful, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Obviously such a super success, so many super cool people here. If you are interested in getting any more info on the event, you can head to 2cream2sugar art on Instagram. That is also the place that you can look if you're interested in getting your art viewed at one of these events. For Vancouver Television, I'm Kristine Wilson.